Waves fixed it. Kind of. So I just finished filming this big long video where I'm explaining the whole Waves debacle that's really honestly a mess and how they could actually maybe fix it. But as soon as I finish filming that video, I get an email from them saying that they fixed it. And they kind of did, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But there's a couple other things that I think they could do, and I want to encourage you to ask them to also do these things. So Waves, if you don't know, on Sunday sent out an email saying, hey, we're moving to a subscription-only model. The only way to get our plugins is if you subscribe and pay monthly. That really made people mad, myself included, because it's just not a good fit for a lot of people, right? I don't want to constantly pay you every single month when I'm only mixing here or there, and I don't need all your plugins, all this stuff. All that's totally valid. But that's not even the worst thing they did. The worst thing they did is that they said, and if you bought any of our plugins, thanks, and they're not going to be supported anymore as soon as the version you have no longer works with your operating system. That's the end of that plugin. You can't use it anymore unless you subscribe. So they're forcing your hand to subscribe. So if you spent hundreds of dollars with us, like some people in this video have, your plugins just won't be worth anything here as soon as you need to update. That is really frustrating and just really disrespectful, right? I trusted you to give you my money and you to say, hey, well, thanks. Okay, that's really rude, right? So I felt very disrespected by that. Now, a lot of people did. So a lot of these videos, if you've been on YouTube, constantly videos coming out like, this is ridiculous, forget Waves, I'm never using Waves again, forget was a nice word for it, but you get what I'm saying. And I get it. I'm usually like, hey, that's a little bit much, guys, but I get it. This was a really bad misstep, in my opinion. So I think there's a few things that they can do, and they're really centered around the three fundamentals of business. So I think there's three things they could do, and there's three fundamentals of business. The first is that you're known. Waves is definitely known. The second is that you're liked. Waves is really not liked right now, and they've kind of been teetering on that for a while. And the third is that you're trusted. And again, they're really not trusted right now, and they're maybe, been teetering on that for a while too. So they just announced that they are bringing back the perpetual licenses. You can buy a plugin again, and they'll support them. But they're going to support them again through their upgrade plan. So I don't love that upgrade plan, but it is, it is what it is. I think that is already kind of hurting their trust factor. So Waves, if you're watching this, you want people to trust you and like you, and continuing to pay for something that they already bought once really doesn't encourage them to trust or like you. So in my opinion, if you really want to kind of work back from this, you will get rid of the upgrade plan. You'll continue to honor and support your plugins that you've already made and sold people. I get that there's costs that come with continuing to update plugins, but maybe you just need to sell them a little bit more expensive. I mean, if that's what it takes, I'd rather pay once and never pay again. I don't want to pay more, but I would rather pay a little bit more and only pay once and know that I'm only going to pay once and that you're going to support me forever, right? So I'm glad they're reopening the store. I think that's the first thing they had to do so that you're not forced into subscription only. But I really think the second thing they need to do is get rid of the upgrade plan. I think that will show a sign of trustability that just isn't there right now. And then the third thing that they could do that would help with their likability a little bit is something that companies like Plugin Alliance do, which is give away a small bundle of plugins for free. And good plugins, not just like super obscure ones, good ones that will show people that you have good things and that you're generous as a company. Right now, we all feel like you're really tight-fisted and that you do not care about us as consumers and you only care about making as much money as you possibly can. Giving away a few plugins for free would help just get a little bit of that back. It's not going to wash this away. This was a big misstep. But if you bundled, like the G-Bus comp, some things that are not in your standard DAW, like a lot of DAWs do not have that like SSL style compressor. So maybe throw that in for free. Maybe throw in Waves Tune because a lot of plugins don't have, or DAWs don't have graphical tuning plugins built into them. So that could be a cool thing to throw in for free. Throw in a few things that would really show people that you have good products and give us a reason to like you again. I love your plugins, Waves. I really do, but I feel very disrespected by you. I don't trust you right now, and I just don't like you a lot right now. My last video, I showed a Waves plugin, and I said I love Waves, and I feel embarrassed by that right now. So Waves, I really feel like while I'm glad you're going to go back, I think you need to do a little bit more. I'm hoping that this will be a bit of a reckoning for you as a company. And if you're watching this, Waves, you can reach out to me, bandguy@thebandguy.com, and I'd be happy to discuss this stuff with you a little bit further. And as a viewer watching this, I hope that you leave a lot of comments saying, yes, Waves, please do these things in the comments below. And the last thing I'll say is that, listen, we're all angry, man. I spent most of this week just being mad. I was just mad. And the reality is that anger is what's called a secondary emotion. So there's something underneath it that is causing it. It's a very real thing. I feel angry, but I feel angry because of some other reason. And so for me personally, I felt really sad when I got that email on Sunday saying that I'm not going to be able to continue to get support on my plugins unless I get a subscription, because I know I'm not going to get a subscription. And I've mixed hundreds of songs over the years using Waves plugins. And so this means that I'm not going to be able to go into my old songs. Like, that makes me really sad. And if I respond with anger, one, I'm not addressing the real sadness, but two, I'm not really recognizing what's going on. So I just feel angry. I also felt very embarrassed because I've been recommending Waves and here they are being shady and I've tied my name with them. And so I'm embarrassed. And those things made me feel very angry. Now, the reason I say this is because I think it's really important if you want to reach out to Waves, which I encourage you to reach out to Waves. I encourage you to say, hey, I appreciate that you're bringing back the store and that you're going to support us, but I really think you need to do more because this really was disrespectful. And honestly, the upgrade plan has already kind of been disrespectful for years. If you said nicely, like, I feel a little bit disrespected and I don't trust you, I think you could do more to really show us, and here are some ideas on ways that I might begin to trust you again or like you again. And if you send an email like that, they might actually respond positively to that. If you send an email like, I'm so mad at you, they're just going to throw that in the trash. Like, that's the way people react to anger. So if you want to get something out of this, like I think we all do, then say nicely, I feel very disrespected and hurt, and I would like to get these changes out of this. So a little bit of a weird soapbox, but if you've been on my channel or my email list, you know I get on these every once in a while because these are things that I truly believe. And understanding this about anger has helped me more than anything else in my entire life. So while it's a little bit weird to talk about on a music production channel, I hope it's helpful to you. Okay, so those are my thoughts. Waves, thank you for bringing the store back. I'm glad you did that. I wish you'd get rid of the upgrade plan, and I wish you'd include a free bundle just so that some people can have some of the goods and you could really make some impact in society positively instead of just constantly looking for a little bit more money. Okay, before you go, if you struggle to get a mix that sounds good, a really encouraging thing is that you do not need Waves plugins. You don't need any plugins other than what you already have built into your DAW. The reality is that mixing is just a few fundamental concepts, and you can create very great sounding, professional sounding mixes just following a few simple steps: EQ, volume, compression, effects, and doing them in a specific order that's systematic that will continue to help you improve and get better and better mixes over time. And so I put together something to help you with that. It is completely free. There's a link in the description below. It's just a 6-step checklist to a pro mix. It's the same 6 steps that all professional mixes have, and how you can do them wherever it is that you're making music, completely free. Free from the link in the description below, so be sure to pick it up. If this video was helpful, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to comment, let Waves know that you want all of these changes, and I'll see you next week with another video.
One thing at a time.